Here is review question number 1. So what you're going to do first is you're going to find out where they intersect. Because if you want to find the area between the two curves, you need to know from where to where you need to find that area. So here's our calculator. I'm going to quickly graph cos x squared and e to the x so you can see what that looks like. Quickly graph, relative term. Clear this. Cos x squared bracket and e to the x. Should be in radians. So I'm in radians right now, so that's good. I'm going to go zoom trig, see if that's a good idea. Maybe not. There they are. And there is the two curves. Drag that over here so we can see it later. Okay? Now, did they give us, in the original question, did we have a domain over which we were looking? Yes, from negative 1.5 to 0.5. So maybe another thing that I would do is on my graph, I'll go from negative 1.5 to 1.5 and graph that again to see if that gives me a better graph. Oh, that looks nicer. Yes, Vasily?
I saw there when you looked at the solution that they had rounded the two x values to 3 sig figs.
3 sig figs, just to put it there, they probably kept all their values for their work. I'm going to just see if I can find this intersection. We know the one is 0. Let's go 5. I want to find this one that's over here. Enter, enter, enter. Okay. Now that answer, the negative 1.11, I want to see if that's stored as x. I'm going to store that as x and see what value comes up, that negative 1.1. I'm going to see when I do my values if that actually comes up when I type in x or if it doesn't. But when you're working, I would keep a lot of decimal places. I'd write them down then and plug in more because rounding early could cause your final answer to be a little bit off. So now when we're doing this, when we're subtracting the two, then we should get that as an area. So when I'm going to go back to my calculator, I'm going to write in here in y equals cos x squared minus e to the x just going to turn this graph off and graph it. Interesting. Second, calculate. We're going to calculate number 7 from lower limit. I want to see if I can type in x. X equals x. No, it didn't work. Yeah, so let's calculate number 7. The lower limit is negative 1 point, how many ones? 3 ones. And then it was 5, 2, 7. Good. That should be more than enough. To 0. And there it is, 0.2824. Now for the marks, each of those showing that you knew to find the intersection points gave you a mark. That's what M1. M stands for method. Okay? Getting the two intersection points gave you a mark each. An A value in the marking guide stands for answer. So you got one answer, another answer. The brackets means that if you didn't show this, but you got these answers, you would get that mark. So you don't need to show that you're finding intersection points, but you need to, that would give you a method mark, even if you didn't get the right answers. Then setting it up as the integral would give you another method mark, and then finding the final answer is worth 2 answer marks, even though you only write 1 answer. So if you don't get the right answer, you lose 2 marks. If you just wrote 2.82 without showing any work, the most marks you can get is 3 out of 6. So they always show a no mark. No work, just the answer, will give you 3.
If you did all, like if you did everything except for write down like the formula, what if you just did all the work or you wrote, you found out,
If you wrote, for example, if you wrote this and then wrote this, this would give you, you got those 2, they'll give you 2 marks. You would get that method implied. You've showed this, would give you the other method implied, and you got the right answer. So just this would be 6 marks. Now, I don't recommend the, oh, I'm going to study the answer keys to find out what's the least amount I can write and still get full marks. Not necessarily a good strategy. Show all your work. I would say show a quick little sketch showing that you got it from your graphing calculator. Show the values that you got. It doesn't take that long to do these things. Don't go overboard and show way too much, but do show your work as you're going. Sometimes they give method marks for like, oh, I need to find the intersection points. Just draw a sketch, and you're like, I have no idea how to do that. But you'll get 1 mark for saying that, for your method mark. No, you won't get a mark for saying I have no idea.